Vitamin Z3. Thank you for liking and subscribing. It's immense joy to see the way we are growing. Do keep showering your love. Today we are going to continue to see the chapter graph, and in graph in specific we are going to read the line graphs. So in my previous video we had one line and we read the graph. This time we are going to have two lines on the graph, and accordingly we are going to try to solve the questions that we have. Let's begin with the very first one. So as we know, in my previous video, I taught you this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis, right? So let's start again. Here we have on x-axis is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And here if you see number of passengers, we have from 0 to 1500 passengers. Now the passengers are divided into two services, right? Which is my northern service and southern service. So in the northern train service, we'll start with that one since our table demands us to start with that one. So first and foremost on Monday, okay, my blue line signifies is for northern and my golden or orange line signifies for my southern service. So for my northern service on Monday, we see the mark here is on 1300. On Tuesday, we see the mark is between 1100 and 1200, right? Again, sorry, for my northern service, the mark is between 1200 and 1300. So that's 1250 since it is in the right middle. Let's tick again and avoid confusion. So for my Wednesday, I have the mark on 1200. I am still on northern service. I'm going to go by the blue marks. I'll only concentrate on blue marks. Now comes my Thursday. On Thursday, my mark is between 13 and 1400. Therefore, that is 1350, right? That is how we gauge the hierarchy. It's 0, 100, and there's a middle mark. 100, 200, and there's a middle mark. So this middle mark is for the 50s, 50, 150, 250, 350, and so on and so forth. Coming back to my Friday and my blue, I'll keep my focus on the northern service, which is 1100, right? For my Saturday, my blue dot shows between 400 and 500, which is 450. And finally, my Sunday, my blue dot, that is for my northern service, is between 200 and 300. So that will be 250. We are done with northern service. Let's go to southern service. In southern service, I'm going to focus only on these golden marks. So you see the golden marks, it's between 1300 and 1400 on Monday. So that's going to be 1350. Tuesday, you see my golden mark is between 1100 and 1200. So it's going to be 1150. As I showed you a few minutes ago how we are reading this 50. On Wednesday, my golden mark is merging with the blue northern service. Therefore, it is going to be same, that is 1200. On Thursday, if you see, it's between 1200 and 1300, right? Therefore, this Thursday is going to be 1250 on a Thursday for southern service. Friday, the golden mark is between 900 and 1000. So I will have 950. On Saturday, I have between, let me write 950 clearly because we have to compare for the questions as well later. On Saturday, if you see, it's between 600 and 700. Therefore, it will be 650. And on Sunday, it's between 100 and 200. So that's 150. Okay. So by far, we are all clear. We have done the first step of analyzing the data and putting it into our table. Once we have put it in the table, let's solve the questions. So the first question says the difference between the number of passengers using the northern and southern services was greatest on. Okay, so this is the greatest is the highest number. The difference means the subtraction. So when I subtract the number between both of them, highest is when it was taken by, right? That is the number of passengers have used the services. Therefore, if you see 1300, 1350, you have just 50, right? 1250 and 1150. So after 1150 comes 1250, so that's 100. 1200, 1200, nil. 1350 minus 1250 is again 100. Now I have on Friday, that is my 1100 and 950. After 950 comes 1050, 1150. So 1150, it's not touching, therefore 150 is the difference, right? Then I have my Saturday, 650 and 450. So after 450 comes 550, 650, which is 200 passengers. And on the Sunday, 250 minus 150 is just 100. So we see when I find the difference from Monday to Sunday, the highest number that I see is on Saturday, that the majority of the passengers were using the services of Northern and Southern. This is how we found for the second one. The next one says on Dash, there were 50 more passengers using the Southern service than the Northern service for their travels. As we solved for a second question, we see it was so easy. I got my answer 50 here and straight it is a hint that the answer is Monday, because the question is saying we need 50 more passengers using Southern services more than the Northern. So we know Monday it is 1300 on Northern and Southern is 1350. But of course, 50 was the answer here we got. And that is how I get my answer. Which day had the same number of passengers using both the train services? As we got 0 here, which was nil, right? Therefore, that will be my Wednesday. So let's try to write the whole sentence, please. That on Wednesday, the same number of passengers used, instead of using, we'll say used both the train services. So kindly try to keep your comprehension skills always up so that your skills keep on enhancing and you are more familiar when you solve the comprehension or answering question, or you want to skim any answer while you want to answer the question. Okay, going ahead, my question 5 is asking, did the number of passengers on each train increase or decrease as the week progressed? So as you see, as the week progressed, we did not have the passengers increasing, right? Therefore, if you see, my answer I would say is that the number of passengers, okay, I'm going to try to fit this here. The number of passengers on each train, okay, on each train, I would say decreased as the week progressed. So decreased as the week progressed. Okay, this is how I type my answer. The last question is, which train service had the greater number of passengers using it all together in the whole week? Which train service had greater? Okay, it's asking greater number of passengers using it all together. If you see here the hierarchy, this is 1300, 1250. Here there's a decrease, 1200 stagnant. You see it's increase on Thursday 1350, but Southern has less. Again, Northern on Friday is 11 and there's a decrease in Southern. So it's clear that it's the Northern service that more number of passengers were using it, right? So we are going to try to type the whole answer here, all right? Therefore, the answer will be the Northern service had the greater number of passengers using it all together. Okay, so this is how I will answer my question in a whole sentence. It's important that you always answer it in a whole sentence, and that is the reason it will be really helpful so that we can accordingly gauge the answer. And but of course, keep brushing our comprehension skill. Thank you for staying tuned. We'll come up with more videos. Do keep liking and subscribing. Till then, take care.